It's a thin line between love and hate. 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 It's a thin line between love and between hate. What's up, y'all? Ugly, just gut wrenching loss. Let's talk about it because I'm gonna tell you, Foots won't be talking about this anymore. Like after this game, I promise you, I'm putting this behind us. Now it'll probably come up depending on how you respond from this, but you know, one of the old adages in football, and with me being a coach, and you have to, is you can't get too high, you can't get too low. But I like one even better. 24-hour rule. Like, you know, really the 24-hour rule. And there was some good from this game. There's a lot to take away from this game. There's a lot to take away from this game. There really was some good things that happened. And people probably been in the comments, Foots, how could you say that? There was some good from this game. But the truth of the matter is we need to have a conversation about the defensive coordinator. And now what's happening is that your run defense is so awful that the play action game is starting to become an issue. Because now guys are overcompensating. And to me, it's simple fixes. It's alignment issues. It's angles. It's missed tackles. It's fits. I love 11. I think everybody on this team loves 11. But we hold Micah to a very high standard, and they asked him to play off ball today, and he just flat out wasn't good. Micah Parsons just was flat out not good today. To me, this offense played. I tweeted this, and I'm getting a lot of flack for it, so I went ahead and muted the tweet. I thought Dak Prescott played lights out. I'm not talking about good. I thought he played lights out. Like, I thought that this was one of Dak's best games. And people say, well, Foots, the 2 interceptions. I thought that Ford played great. I thought that Ford played absolutely insane. He made throws. He commanded the offense more than anything. He commanded when Green Bay was trying to do certain things, he got us in certain checks. And people will say, yeah, we threw the ball 46 times, just that and the third. But you got to think, those 2 holding calls on that last drive, or the offsides and then the goofy, I don't like that call on McGovern. I thought that was a weird holding because the hand placement was outside. But to me, if you're going to hold that, then there's no way that you let me explain on the 2 picks as well. I thought he played lights. Let me tell y'all something. Chat box. One thing about me is I'm actually grading the film. I'm actually watching what's supposed to happen. When CD decides not to run his route correctly, Dak, you guys got to understand, we're playing football is not Madden. The ball has to be out and thrown to certain areas. You have to throw people open. When CD decides to shallow his route out a certain way or not do what he's supposed to do, like that's on CD. That's not on Dak. Dak is throwing the ball to an area. The one where Dalton Schultz lets his man reroute him on the post instead of running his man off. You've seen it on a TV copy. That's on Dak. That's on Dalton. That's not on Dalton. That's on Dalton. That's not on Dak. Like, I think that Kellen, if anything, like running those type of concepts is tricky because you're playing zone. You're playing against a team that runs zone. You're playing against a team that runs zone. Like Green Bay sat back in those zones all game. So if you're not where you're supposed to be, they were both in the same area. That's not on the quarterback. Dak is throwing the ball to a spot. You had a 14-point lead going into halftime. Going to the fourth quarter. You need to win that game. You need to win that game. Greg Jones, no, it's not. G. Jones, what are you talking about? Next week is going to be ugly. You could beat Minnesota. You out of your mind? You could beat Minnesota. Like, Minnesota is very beatable. Very beatable. Let's take a deep breath. CeeDee Lamb, over 150 today, 11 catches. I truthfully believe that it's now time for Mike McCarthy to now go in Dan Quinn's office, and have a talk with him about some of his structures. And I'm gonna go and I'm talking about some of his cover structures. I'm gonna go watch film, and I just think that he's sitting in too many cover three, one safety over the top, And so what happened was when they went to max protect deals, those deep overs and those crossing routes were just killing us. Like, Dan Quinn has to look at some things that he's doing on the back end, because it looks like he's running. I got to really go look what he's running on the back end. Yeah, JP, we're fine. Like, you see what happened when CeeDee actually ran the routes that he was supposed to run. I think that we're fine. I think that, and what happens is, like, tomorrow we're going to wake up and the sky's going to be falling. And then you're going to look in the record column and you're 6-3. Like, it's okay. This team is a very good team. This team is going to make the playoffs. I just think that you have some issues in your defensive fits. Now, let's talk about one of the big things I want to talk about is our run fits. What's happening to me is teams are realizing that if you want to beat the Cowboys, the middle is cool, but if you want to have real success on the Cowboys, and this is what I said, what bothers me about Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn had to know that Green Bay's game plan was going to be edge runs and, get Aaron Jones the ball. And we just had no answer. Like, none. Then not to mention, when they're running literally crack toss. They're running crack toss. And Michael Williams, I'll get to your super chat. Thank you so much for the super chat. Nah, King Marquise, I don't, me personally, and this is just me being live, and I got to go rewatch the film. Hey, by the way, C-Note, we're not going to blame Tober because Dak actually came out and said he told Jalen Tober to scoot up. So, like, we're not going to do that. The quarterback said that, and the ref gave him the thumbs up. It looked like so. I think the problem is the personnel that we're using on rundowns. You need to really have a hard talk with yourself and get somebody in there who is going to stack that edge. Now, the good thing is you're playing against a Minnesota team and a Minnesota offense who has Kirk Cousins at the helm, who has no escapability whatsoever. So if it's not on time, like if it's not blocked up how it's supposed to, he can't make you miss. The sad thing is that hurts my heart, like being a Cowboys fan. If it's one thing that I am gonna, quote unquote overreact about, is like Aaron Rodgers looked like the worst quarterback in the league. And it wasn't like he was just awful, but like for a while, A-Rod he just didn't look good. And then what does he do against Dallas right on key? What does he do? He looks like, one of the best quarterbacks playing in the game. Christian Watson has his best game. That's on your defense. Dak went blow for blow with A-Rod. You have to get a stop at some point. You have to get a stop. You have to get a sack. You didn't get A-Rod on the ground. I think you may have got A-Rod on the ground once or twice, maybe. But like at some point, you got to get stops. The run fit and how we play run defense is what's scaring me right now. The run fit and how we play run defense is what's scaring me right now. Unacceptable. Mike Baldino just said it. Michael Baldino. It's just like, man, this Aaron Rodgers, man, like I've never met a guy who just like he legit just has our number. He's gonna go out next week and play awful. He's gonna go out for the rest of the year and just play awful. But against Dallas, he just has our number. And you know that Mike McCarthy wanted that game. But I think that the run fit, right? Let's start with the run fit because the run fit is what's hurting this Cowboys team. I think that the run fit is what we need to kind of get to and look at. I don't want to overreact to Micah playing at linebacker. He'll tell you he had a bad game. And what happens is this. Micah is an all-pro. He just is. He's an all-pro athlete. He's an all-pro player. But if you haven't been playing backer all year, this isn't Madden. So you're playing against a good team. You're playing against a physical Aaron Jones, and you haven't been off ball for the most part all year because when you line him up, when you line Micah up at the end, he's getting chipped, he's getting this, that, and the third. So I'm not going to be phony here and say, oh, Micah shouldn't be playing the backer. No, I'll raise my hand. I wanted Micah in the middle of that defense. The problem is, if we're being honest, he just didn't look good. Like Micah just didn't look good. Like his run fit wasn't well. He wasn't running to the ball. He wasn't playing blocks correctly. The problem is this. What these offensive linemen are doing, and David Bakhtiari and those guys, and when they're running pin pull action or running crack toss, nobody's using their hands. Nobody's playing force. Everybody's just running to the ball. Like that's not how you play those. Listen, I coach youth football. Even when you play like a wing tee or some type of offense that wants to get their lineman in space, okay, what you have to do is this. You do need a backer or some type of a force player who's going to come downhill and force the play back inside. What does that mean? You're forcing it. You're coming downhill and you're laying your shoulder into a guard. You're laying your shoulder into a tackle. You need to force that play back inside right now. You can't keep stringing it out. Yeah, what they're doing is they're getting yardage over and over and over again. The only person who's playing good run defense on this defense is DeMarcus Lawrence. And that's why I was calling for Chauncey Golden. Hell, put Basham in there. Put somebody in there who's going to stand these tackles up, who's going to play with force at the point of attack. Everything isn't rush the passer. You need to get off blocks. And Dan has to coach that. Dan has to coach that. So to me, that's a big issue. That's a huge issue. And listen, 24-hour rule. We're not going to overreact. This is my last time talking about this game. So we're going to sit here on this live stream. We're going to talk our talk. And then I'm moving on to Minnesota because you could beat Minnesota. Yes, I know that right now it feels like the world is falling. Dog, you're 6-3. I'm going to put in the chat. I know everybody's mad. 6-3. 6-3. 6-3. Like you're okay. You are okay. Give me a second. I'm going to get something to drink. 6-3. You're 6-3. So to everybody who's saying that we won't make the playoffs, stay on that side. Everybody who's saying we're going 8-9, stay on that side. Everybody who's saying we're gonna lose out, stay on that side. Stay right where you are. I'm cool. Like, the truth of the matter is, guys, like this is the beautiful thing about football. We're fine. Like, sometimes when you're playing good football or when you're winning games, you need a reality check. Like, these people are human. They're not going to come out every game and play great. I just told you, the biggest issue that I had, was how we fit the run and how we played, was how we just played defense as a whole. Like, it honestly, it just wasn't our run fit. When you see Christian Watson just run right past Anthony Brown before he goes out on that play for a concussion, that's not good. When you see Christian Watson just run past Bland, who I think is gonna be a great young player, but like Christian Watson, who wasn't in his bag at all, he just runs a deep over route past Bland. That's not good. And then when you see Christian Watson run past Bland and Kelvin Joseph, that's not good. That's not good. I thought that our offense actually played quite good. I thought our offense played really, really well. Like, I'm telling you, like, I'm not moving from that point. I think Dak played lights out. I thought Tony ran the ball lights out. I thought this O-line played lights out. And they got some players over there now. They got Preston Smith. They have a decent D-line. It's not great. It's not the worst, though. This offense scored you 28 points. It took Aaron Rodgers overtime and everything he had to win this game. And to me, I'm not even mad that Mike McCarthy went for it. And let's talk about it. I'm not mad that Mike McCarthy went for it. One thing about me, I really don't think how everybody thinks. I don't, fall into the same traps that, national media is going to fall into. So if you want arguments for tomorrow at the water cooler, then use this video. I don't fall into the same traps that everybody thinks about. Like, Mike McCarthy seeing his defense get scorched. Thank you, Jim. Yes, CeeDee Lamb had a great game. So let me ask everybody this. Even with the 2 picks that were on our receivers, you're still up 28-14 going into the fourth quarter. It would be nice it would be really nice for your defense not to give up a 40-yard pass on a 4th down. 4th down. Like, what are we talking about? I thought Dak played great. I thought he made throws. Green Bay is tough. It's a tough place to play at, man. Like, it just is. 30 degrees. Like, I thought Tony Pollard played lights out. And like the beautiful thing of it all, guys, is like everybody who's, trolling and this, that, and third and the whole nine, they time coming. Them tables always turn. These tables always turn. It's cool. The 2 picks in the red zone, do I like them? I hate them. But I understand, like, it was a 2 safety look. It was, actually, I don't know if it was 2 safety. I got to go look at the film. But I know, like, that's the middle of the field is where the ball had to be pressed. Like, I'm not mad at that at all. Listen, let me say this right now. If you don't think that Dak played great, if you don't like what I'm saying, leave this live stream. Because it is irritating me. Like, nobody's thinking outside. You're not in the game without Dak Prescott's play. What don't y'all get? Like, you think you scoring 28 points in Lambeau with Cooper Rush? Stop what you're doing. If you don't like what I'm saying, leave. Just leave the chat. Or stop commenting. Like, it's annoying. Like, Dak, you know what? I'm going to just turn the comments off so I could just talk. I don't even want to see it. Because I'm getting irritated. And I've never gotten irritated on a live stream ever. But I'm just getting extremely irritated because we're not talking football over here. Y'all know we talk football. Like, what we gonna do is I don't fanboy. So it's been times that I've been very critical of Dak Prescott. So critical that I was called a Dak hater. I thought Dak played lights out. He did not play bad football. Those interceptions aren't on him. We're a smart fan base. What are we doing? If you're running a levels concept and you have Dalton Schultz, his job is supposed to be, you need to hold that middle high player. That if he's sitting at the top of that, it's probably some cover 3 shell or some type of cover 1 or whatever it is. There's one safety in the middle of the field. That means the middle of the field is closed, but you can still run level concepts to stress the middle of the field. What do you have to do? Schultz, you need to get on top of him. You can't run some BS route underneath him. You can't do it. What does Schultz do? Run a BS route underneath him. Oh, what happens? There's 2 guys in the same area. What happens? Dak throws a pick. This isn't Madden. This isn't flag football where you could throw some BS. These guys are moving really fast. Dak has to zip that ball out. And what happens? It's a pick. Oh, well, what I've seen Dak do in the past, and this is what bothers me about this chat box and people saying he's bad or whatever. What I've seen Dak do in the past is throw 2 picks and just get completely just go in a shell. Like I've seen him just not be aggressive at all. Bruh, Dak, CD doesn't have 150. Dak was making throws. The one where CD got hit over the middle as soon as he got the ball, that's a dot. Like, bruh, CD was out there begging Jair Alexander. That should have been a that should have been a PI on the last play of the game. It's ridiculous that they didn't call that. If you're gonna, I never blame refs, right? But if you're gonna call those 2 holding calls or the 1 holding call and be honest, and then the offsides, like, come on, bro. You need to call this PI. He got there mad early. But it's cool. It's football. It happens. You lost the game. It's not the end of the world. But what bothers me is you're 6-3 and Cowboys fans are 1. All right. I went on my rant. I'm done. I went on my rant. I'm done. I went on my rant. I'm done. So let's get back to this defense. This defense is struggling. We need to get better with our run fit, and Micah Parsons has to look himself in the mirror. Micah Parsons has to look himself in the mirror, and he has to say to himself, I got to play better football. Like, I think what's happened with Micah is he's become the Twitter guy, and he's become the fan favorite. But, like, Micah, you also need to realize, like, bro, like, you still need to make tackles at the point. You still need to, get off blocks. You still need to, if they're going to put you at backer and you're okay with that, you can't say that I'm injured or this, that, and the third. Nah. So, to me, Micah Parsons needs to play better football. Let's get to this super chat. No matter what in big games, never step up, period. Same song, different dance. Recco Bullock. Nah, I can't say that, Recco. I mean, bro, let's see how we finish this season. You're 6-3. Things could be a lot worse. Like, you're 6-3. Things could be a lot worse. Things could be a whole lot worse. You're 6-3. Things could be a lot worse. And so, like, yeah. And to me, Dan Quinn has to figure something out in this run fit to where it, like, all right, so you're watching San Francisco play right now, right? and you're looking, and then when you look at the structure of their defense, the backers' heels are at 4. They're keeping everything in front of them. They're kind of running to the ball. They're playing stout with their front 4 in the run fit and their linebackers in the run fit, right? When you look at Dallas, what's happening is when in their run fit, they're not doing such. And so like they have to figure this part out. This is why the title of this is, Dan Quinn ruins Mike McCarthy's homecoming, because for so long around here, Dan Quinn has been known as, no, I wouldn't say for so long, but for these last 2 years, and rightfully so, Dan Quinn has done a great job. This isn't me jumping off the bandwagon. This isn't me saying it. Like, Dan Quinn is your guy on defense, and you need these parts of your season to have a special season. And I think that Dallas is going to have a special season. Like right now, it's to me right now it's like, yeah, of course everybody's upset because like everybody's extremely upset because why? You just lost. But to me, this is a blip. Green Bay had to have this game, and they had it. It would have been nice to put them out their misery. You went in a OT and you couldn't do so. So it is what it is. You have wiggle room. I wanted this team to put Green Bay out of their misery. I wanted Green Bay done, and the Cowboys couldn't step on this team. And it's just so strange. Like the one game that like everybody's saying that you're not going to win and you're not going to close this game and A-Rod is going to do this. And he sure enough made everybody right. So to me, like, let me turn the comments off because I can't even, not even off, but I don't want to look at them. Y'all just, I'll get to some questions in a little bit, but let me finish popping my pop. The one game that everybody said that you couldn't win and A-Rod would do this to you again, and he did it. Like A-Rod did it again. He did. And, styles make fights, and I wouldn't even say that this was a bad matchup for the Cowboys because you really moved the ball at ease. Like people, I don't know why anybody would call for Kellen Moore to drive right or he didn't do a good job or whatever you want to say. The drive right before half, Kellen Moore dialed up some great plays. In the third quarter, Kellen Moore dialed up some great plays. Those draw plays against those light boxes, that's Kellen Moore. Those plays where Tyler Smith is wrapping around on those pulls and you're +1 in the run game, that's Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore had a great game. Dak Prescott had a great game. There's nobody in the world who's going to tell me that neither one of those guys did their job. Obviously, it's a team game, so you hate putting the offense versus the defense. I get it. But, like, the truth is we had a 14-point lead. Dan Quinn he didn't call a good game. And, for whatever reason, Christian Watson had his best game against our secondary. A secondary who, by the way, has been pretty decent, but that looked like that looked like a Rob Ryan secondary. That looked like a Mike Nolan secondary. It's a secondary where just guys just aren't where they're supposed to be. And it happens. This is the NFL. This is the league. Like, it's hard to win in this league. And you lost a tough game. Like, when you watch Green Bay, I, for one, thought that A-Rod was washed up. But when you watch the film, he's hitting guys. Christian Watson had been dropping the ball. Today, he catches everything. After a big drop. He probably should have had 4 touchdowns. Because if he would have found the one where he's just running past Bland. A-Rod puts it on the money. I was wrong where I thought that A-Rod was washed up. Aaron Rodgers is not washed. Dallas had to learn that the hard way. He's still a Cowboy killer. Just made every throw today. He had that smirk on his face, and that's what he's going to do. Let's see who Green Bay plays next week. I'm pretty sure he'll be garbage again. You know? Yeah. This Thursday, they got the Titans. You're going to watch that game against the Titans, and you'll see a run defense. I can tell you that. I've watched that Titans defense a lot, and you'll see a great run defense. Don't worry about it. And then it'll be interesting to see when they play Philly, how they play, on the 27th. I still don't think that Philly is great. I think that they might even have a tough game against Washington next week. Who knows? I still think that this Dallas team is really, really good. You lost a tough game. I think players needed to be refocused. I'm going to call out Micah Parsons. And it's not hate on 11. I just want Micah to play better against the run. Like, if you're going to be this guy who's being compared to, Lawrence Taylor and Aaron Donald, Micah needs to play better football. Like, there's no other way around it. Micah needs to play better. He has not been playing okay. I'm not going to say Micah's having an all-pro year. It's weird. But there are certain parts of his game that I want him to attack. Let me not say he needs to play better like he's been the issue, because he hasn't. But there are certain parts of his game that I want him to play better and do better. Yeah. This it doesn't get easier down the stretch for this run defense. Let's look at it. Week 11, you got Dalvin Cook. Week 12, you got Saquon. Week 13, you have Jonathan Taylor, who in the Colts, who, by the way, Jeff Saturday got a win. That's week 13. Week 14, you have Dameon Pierce. Week 15, you got Travis Etienne. And week 15, week 16, you got the Eagles. And week 17, you have Derrick Henry. So, like at a point, in blogging the boys, blogging the boys just retweeted me. Blogging the boys just retweeted me, and and RJ Ochoa just retweeted what I said, and I'm sorry, guys. Like, this is RJ Ochoa. This is somebody who covers the team and is close to that team and is closer than me. Dan Quinn has earned all of his praise to this point. This is RJ. You guys go follow me on Twitter. Dan Quinn has earned all of his praise to this point, but he is in rare territory that some people reach with the Cowboys, where he is immune to criticism. A lot of people refuse to blame him for anything at all. I think RJ said it best, guys. Like, I'm not saying that. I never disrespect Dan Quinn and say he's a bad coordinator, because he's not. But at a point, homie, like, part of these quote unquote, y'all call these big games. Ooh, Justin Herbert got smoke right there. Part of these quote unquote big games, we need to start looking at Dan Quinn and saying, Okay, Chicago definitely was leading the league in rushing. They ran the ball down your throat, and had they had some more successful drives or had they had a few more weapons, they could have won that game. And the Phils and them are playing good football right now. And then Green Bay, like, I don't know where Green Bay is at rushing. I don't know if they lead the league in rushing or where they are or whatever, or even if they're in the top 10. But I do know that Aaron Jones and the way and the fit and what they try to do running the ball, they had success all game. So maybe Mike McCarthy is thinking, dog, we gotta score here. I don't want to get a ball back to Aaron Rodgers or kick a field goal. We're not gonna stop them. And then play action came, and it just was bad on the last drive. But again, run, play action, max protect, chip Micah, long shot. Like, that's what you got this game. It was also too many times where I really saw absolutely no pass rush from anyone. So now that you have Micah out in coverage or as an off-ball player, you now see no pass rush whatsoever. That's not good. All right? And Aaron Rodgers happened. Like, I'll never disrespect Aaron Rodgers again. Greatest quarterback to ever play the game. I'll never disrespect Aaron Rodgers again. Like, I will never disrespect that guy. All right, let's get to some questions, guys. We'll be fine. Let's get to some questions. 24-hour rule, guys. After today, and wait, so I got 24 hours. So I got till 8 p.m. tomorrow. After tomorrow, I'm done talking about it. Aaron Rodgers, greatest quarterback to ever play. It is what it is. Aaron Rodgers, greatest quarterback to ever play. That's what he is. Questions. Foots, explain to me why Dak threw the ball 46 times. That's a good question. Let's talk about it. Foots, explain to me why Dak threw the ball 46 times and Rodgers only threw it. Whoa, that's easy. They were running a ball. So the two intercept. Okay, so the two picks. The one where you gave them the ball in your territory, right? That kind of got you behind the 8 ball. You had to kind of pass your way, especially at the end of the half when you went down 14-7. Yeah, if my memory serves me correctly, you had to pass your way back into that game to tie the game up. So the numbers might be a little skewed there. I think that Dallas probably wanted to get into their 4-minute stuff. They just couldn't because of the boxes they were probably getting. So the boxes, you have your 4 down linemen, but the box area is like 7 yards deep. How many defenders do you have there? And so Dak is counting the box. Do you have an 8-man box? Do you have a light box? Do you have, what type of box do you have? And, in that, they're looking at it and they're asking, is this a run here? What's the situation here? And so that's why on a couple of those 3rd down plays, you got those draw plays, and Tony hit those good because you had a light box. You had 4 down linemen, and then you had those linebackers way out of the play. So that's kind of what it is there. Let's get to some more questions. That was a good question. Yeah, I'm not gonna hold y'all. Like tonight, I'm kind of irritated, but I'm actually very irritated. So I'm not reading any comments that we gonna slander the players or we gonna slander. I'm not doing that. Y'all want to do that? Go troll or somewhere else. Like, we're not trolling Dak. Like, Dak didn't just have a great game. It happens. You lost the game. I don't. If anything, I don't think that. To me, if anything, I don't know. I'm not. I'm a coach, so I'm gonna blame coaching on a lot of this stuff, especially with Dan Quinn. So, that's just that on that, because it's easy to take the other side on a lot of stuff. So if y'all got any real football questions, let's talk real football. I'm not doing the trolls. Foots. Now this is a good football question. Foots. Thoughts on our receivers outside of CD? I thought that Mike. I thought that. So the problem with Gallup is he's just not fast anymore. He used to be fast. Oh, Brandon, I missed your super chat. Let's get to your super chat real quick. I'm sorry, homie. I turned the chat off because people was trolling and this, that, and that. I don't see it, Brandon. Dang. Brandon, what was your super chat? Type it to me and I'll make sure that I show love, homie. Let me see. Oh, my bad. I missed your super chat. No matter what in big end. Oh, yeah. I didn't see your super chat, Brian. I'm sorry. Maybe it didn't come through. We need to start winning these high profile games. Dang. Hey, Foots. All right, so let's get back to this question. Hey, Foots. Oh, dang. Dang. Why did Christopher Thomas said I suck. So now I suck today. Dang. All right. See you later, Chris. So anyway, I suck. So anyway, back to how do I receive? So like to me, like Michael Gallup, I like Mike, but he just has no juice. He's like he's just Keyshawn Johnson. So that works if you have another speed guy to stretch the field, but we have absolutely no speed guy to stretch the field, and they won't even give Jalen Tolbert a chance to do it. And the rest of our, the rest of our weapons just aren't, the rest of our weapons just aren't, explosive enough. Just are not explosive enough whatsoever. And so CD is doing really good though. Like outside of those one. Okay, so outside of that one, those two plays, that one play. Wait, yeah, outside of those two plays, and it's like you really can't take those away. But like outside of that, like I like what CD's doing. It's just like he's having big catches. Think about it. The Bills are 6-3 right now. The Bills are 6-3, and Josh Allen has missed no games. The Bills are 6-3. The Bills are a perennial Super Bowl favorite from everybody, but they're 6-3. Is the sky falling in Buffalo? On 4th and 7, you give up a touchdown to Christian Watson. Like, is that on Dak Prescott on 4th and 7? So those are kind of, I know I'm supposed to be asking about the receivers, but those are those things that are just tricky when it comes to this team. All right, $20 super chat. All right, bro. Do the Cowboys need to make a trade for another run stopper? Who? Ralph 707. Thank you for the super chat, homie. But who? Who do you want to trade for? Like, let me know who you want to trade for. I don't know who we trade for. I don't know who's out there that somebody's gonna give up. I don't know. I don't know. So I don't know who we trade for. Ralph 707. I would like us to play I just think that our issue is, and I mean this like in the best way possible. I really believe that our issue is we're just not playing the fit correctly. I don't think that there's like one person who's gonna make this better. I don't think that we're fitting the run correctly. Um, I don't. So that's just me. I don't think that we're fitting the run correctly. And so in that, we really need to get better with that part of it. Um, so so anyway, um, you know, me personally, like I'm gonna give my overall summary kind of this game, and I'm gonna be responsible with it. Um, let me hide these comments, man, because I feel like we live in such a I feel like we live in such an overreact world where we really need to look at the facts. The facts is that, you know, I feel like we live in such an overreact world. So like the facts are you have a great team. That's the facts, guys. The facts are, you know, like your record says that you're better than what you played like today. Obviously, you lost this game. Could have been a little flat from coming off the bye. Could have taken them lightly. Uh, I'm pretty sure Cowboys fans, Cowboys players. You see Diggs tweet what he tweeted. I'm pretty sure that those guys. I'm pretty sure there's not one player out there who said, "Oh yeah, um, Christian Watson is going to go crazy today," or we would have had a better game plan for Christian Watson. I think that the players would have played Christian Watson better than what they did. I truthfully believe that. The fact of the matter is you didn't play you didn't take heed to who he was, or you wouldn't have been up in his face at the line because all he did was run past your DBs all game. And that's coaching. Like if he runs past Anthony Brown once, somebody in the quality control section of things, or somebody who is running the defense and who clocks all these times, and it's about 20 coaches on the sideline. There's 20 coaches in the booth. Somebody needs to say, "Hey, that 9, he can run." Like I'm draft guy. I know Christian Watson can run because that's why he was drafted. He's a big body who legit can move. Like that's why he was drafted. And he looked like Randy Moss out there. That's on coaching. Why are you continuing to play press against a guy who's a 4'3" athlete at 6'3"? That's on coaching. I know he had drops in the last games, but once he caught 1, 2, okay, 4th and 7, hey, we're not going to let him beat us. Alan Lazard was in prison today until the last play of the game before the field goal, but Alan Lazard was bad today. Diggs did his job on Lazard. Like at a point, somebody has to say, like, we're not going to let him beat us. But he did. This is what I mean by Dan Quinn ruined Mike McCarthy's homecoming, because Dan Quinn did not coach this team up this week correctly. Didn't have a solid game plan. Before the big plays, Green Bay was chipping away and getting yardage. this run defense sucks. And it's been bad for a while. But everybody's blaming this offense. Everybody's blaming Mike McCarthy. Hell, everybody was blaming Kellen Moore. Dan Quinn, Micah, and the boys, this great doomsday defense, they need to clean some things up. Osa, do you even still play on a team? Neville, do you still play on a team? No TFLs today, not one. I don't think we had one tackle for loss today. Maybe Lawrence, who, by the way, DeMarcus Lawrence is having a Pro Bowl season. He's the only one of the oldest players on his defense who made plays today. You got to start having a conversation of maybe moving Donovan Wilson to the box and putting Marquise Bell or Izzy on the field in Donovan Wilson's spot. Because if you don't have backers who can come downhill and they're not going to fit correctly in the run game, you got to have a serious question. You need to start asking some questions, man. You do. You need to really start asking yourself some questions when it comes to this team and the fit. So, anyway, let me look at the last little bit of comments. Guys, we got 300 people in here, man. Much love to y'all for jumping in here, giving me your thoughts. It's a tough one, but, what's up, Dirk? It's a tough one, but at the end of the day, 24-hour rule, man. I ain't worried about it. You are 6-3. Like I said, the Bills are 6-3. Your Super Bowl winner from last year just lost to Arizona. A lock and change. I'm not sold on Philly. I'm not. Philly could go out here and look crazy against the Commanders. Like, I'm not sold, bro. I guess a lot of football to be played. Like, you got a lot of football to be played. I don't got us losing 4 or 5 straight games. Like, everybody just relax. 24-hour rule. Everybody relax. It's fine. I truthfully believe that. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't panic, man. I don't. So, all right, any more questions before I jump off, man? Because that's true. But you know what else the Lions do? The Lions have a defensive end in Aiden Hutchinson who sets the edge in the run game. We aren't ready for that conversation. You need, personnel-wise, you're going to have to do some things when it comes to the run fit. It's just bad right now. You have a great team. You have a great roster. I think you're fine. Right. Ooh. Cowboys are favored next week on the road. Facts. Like, I'm not, I love Dallas next week on the road. I do. Love us. Yeah, I'm not entertaining no Philly fans, no Hurts, no nothing. Yeah, I understand that. So I like this. I honestly like this comment real quick before I get out of here, because I did an hour with y'all, man. It's actually been really, really cool. So I like this comment. So use Turbin more in the passing game. I think for nothing else, I think you do need a guy who Because what Dallas is doing, and this is going to be one of the last points that I make. What the Cowboys are doing is they're running overs with CD, they're running crossers with CD, and they're using CD as their slot attack the middle of the field guy. And he's doing a great job in doing that. But again, like what happened today, like, okay, think about it. If you ran that same route combination that you ran with Dalton Schultz, but you run that with Cavante Turpin, he gets on top of that safety faster. Then now that safety has to make a choice. But what happens is you have Schultz, who's slow and really isn't a threat or doesn't scare a middle of the field player, and the interception happens, right? But if you whatchamacallit, if you have a player who can attack that middle of the field player quicker, all right, now, you know. So I do think that if nothing else, I think if nothing else, you need a guy who could attack the middle of the field and just run past guys every once in a while. And so I think this is a very interesting comment. So let's look at this comment. A lot of these YouTube guys really don't understand what's going on per plays and don't want. Oh no, I'm not. I don't know what YouTube guys you're talking about, but like anybody knows who's been with me understands and knows I'm a football guy first. Was Brown? Yep, absolutely. Yes. This is a really good question. Let's talk, guys. Hey Dirk. Oh, this is my guy. What's up, Dirk? Yes, he was in press coverage, bro, and that's an issue. And that's why I'm calling out. This is why I'm calling out Dan Quinn. Because Dan Quinn is a good defensive coordinator. I think he's probably a better defensive coordinator than he is a head coach. But, and this is the but, this is why I say that it's tough to win in the league. And like, you can't tell me that after Watson runs past you once, that you don't tell your guys, hey, let's off man, hey, let's give him a little cushion, hey, let's keep eyes on him, hey, let's shift the zone in his way, something, cover four, something like we're not gonna give up a deep over on play action, and they're max protecting. When they're max protecting, there's only two guys in the route. What are we doing? Like they're chipping on Micah now. Micah needed to play better. Don't get me wrong, but like they're chipping on him. So like at a point, you staff, hello, you got to know what they're trying to do. No answer. So that's why I'm calling out Dan Quinn. You know, and I'm not about to say and act like Anthony Brown is Deion Sanders, but like at a point, you know, it'll be interesting to see if the Odell Beckham talk ramps up. Me personally, I don't even think that like you scored 28 points today. I just think your defense didn't play well, and they'll have a chance to clean it up, and I think that they can. To me, it's just alignment and assignment. Talk about the penalty. This is my last one, y'all. Talk about the flag, bro. To me, the last play or the play when CD got grabbed 1,000% was a flag. And the only reason why I'm upset about it is because you called the flag on McGovern earlier and you didn't call this flag. That being said, it's football. You shouldn't have let it come down to that. I thought that your offense played good enough to win. Your defense can't. We had 17 unanswered. They had 17 unanswered in the fourth quarter. So, like, you know, you gotta, like, the penalty hurts. I think the one thing that hurt the most was, like, you had some spots towards the end of the game where you had some really nice runs, but you just couldn't finish drives, or there was a penalty, or just some goofy, like, oh man, here we go again. Oh man, here we go again. So that's that of that. Listen, y'all. In all seriousness, y'all, He really do. Dirk, he Anthony Brown's like he's always getting cooked. It's literally like, you know. Hey, but on another note, Trevon Diggs is playing good. Really good. Listen, at the end of the day, y'all, you're 6-3. I'm leaving on this note. At the end of the day, you're 6-3. The sky's not falling. Go rewatch the game. Find the silver lining in this game. It's cool. I don't know why a Cowboys channel attracts so many Eagles fans. Golly. They don't have Eagle content creators to go talk to. Like, it's weird. Like, Eagles fans are really weird people. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. Like, I hope y'all not related to any Eagles fans. And the thing is, bro, I love Philly. Like Philly got some hard-nosed people. Like, I love that city. But I'm just like, dog, like it's because they really know they trash. Like, they really just struggle versus the Texans. What are we doing? Man, I'm gone, man. Y'all have a great night. It's your boy Foots. I'm actually tired. My youth football team played at the stadium today. It's your boy Foots, y'all. Peace.